no numbers, there's no pictures, there's no videos, there's no gameplay. I don't like it.
Yo, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope everyone's having a good day so far. Today, Freemers, I know it's been a bit. We haven't discussed anything about Free Realm Sunrise. I've been staying away from the game currently because it's not out. I've been focusing more on Palia, and today we're going to talk about Free Realm Sunrise in depth, not the game, mind you. The community, right? We're here to talk about the community because what else would there be to talk about, right? Game's not out, nothing's happening with it. It's pretty much dead. It's probably never going to come out. I mean, at this point, right? But I feel like we need to have a discussion, a conversation between you and me and the community. Okay? So, we need to talk about how the Free Realm Sunrise community is in a rough spot. Those who are still in the community, who are still huffing copium that this game will eventually come out, we need to talk. We need to have this discussion because if we don't, who will, right? Who will? But I do feel like this is something we need to talk about. So the Free Realm Sunrise community currently at large, they're not doing too well. It's been really silent. Everyone's just been, in a corner crying, waiting for this game to come out, and it's probably never going to happen. I mean, we've all moved on, I feel like, from Free Realms, I think as a whole. Even when the game, when Sunrise got announced, right, for like this revival, I mean, I think a lot of us were still moved on. I know, see, when Free Realms shut down, I still moved on because I had a game to play. Like, Destiny came out, and that was my game. Like, that's all I cared about. Free Realm shut down, Destiny came out 6 months later. It was perfect, right? So I moved on pretty quickly, and I hadn't thought about the game until, 2021, which is crazy. I hadn't thought about the game until then. I think that's honestly wild to me that I hadn't thought about it in so long, But yeah, I think a lot of us have moved on. I think that's why we're so silent right now. But I want to go more in depth in case a lot of you, are uneducated about where the community currently is. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and pull up some things here. You guys ready? You guys ready for this? We're gonna go ahead and discuss this right about now. So check this out, right? We're gonna talk about how the Free Realm Sunrise community started out because the game got announced in 2017. That's pretty much when the buzz started going on. That's when everyone was like, huh? This game's getting revived? Wow, that's crazy, right? Well, oh, I can't help. I can't see. I can't say. Okay, here. I'm here. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. I'm here. We're going to discuss this together. I might have to hide myself for this next part. Okay? So 2017 was like the dark age for Free Realms. If there was a golden age for Free Realms, it was like, before it shut down, right? In 2017, we entered the Dark Age, and that was crazy. You know why? Because of this. Check this out. Check out this graph I made, dude. Isn't this crazy? Look at all this. Look at all these stats. So in 2017, right, there was a lot going on, and I bet a lot of you didn't know about this, okay? And I'm going to break it down for you. So in 2017, racism was at an all-time high. It was at an all-time high. It was. The community was downright awful. Maybe not everyone was racist, but it was at an all-time high of 100. Okay, grooming was about 75. It was about at 75. It was pretty high up there, right? It was pretty high. Then we go to the transphobia. That was at a 50. It was at a 50. It was still pretty bad, at the time. Homophobia at a 50. Sexism, though. Sexism at 25. Okay, so we're getting better now, right? So you go to 2019, right? It goes down a bit, not by a lot, mind you, not by a lot. But it goes down by a lot. It goes down by at least 75 for racism. All right, grooming goes down by 50. Okay? Grooming goes down by 50. Transphobia still at 50. Right? It hasn't changed there. Homophobia is still at 50. Sexism 25. Okay, so everything's still kind of the same in that region. Okay, but then we get to 2021. This is after 2020 when, the whole, everything was crazy, right? So racism actually went down to 50. Grooming down to 50. Transphobia down to, I would say, it was down to like 50-ish, I think. And then homophobia at a 25, I believe. Sexism at 25. Now you go, I mean, they could have been at 50 for homophobia, but I'm not sure. I wouldn't know. I wasn't really paying too much attention during the time, but you get to this year, right? This is where things have changed. So every 2 years, there seems to be like a change in the gap, right? There seems to be some type of change in the community. And it's crazy how we've evolved, how we've overcome all this struggle, It's wild to me that you guys have, evolved. It's crazy. The Freedom Sunrise community has evolved a bit, right? You get to 2023, and because of my crusade against Renegade and Blackout, and of course, the rest of the community that's toxic, I purged them all, okay? And 2023, we ended racism at 50. About 50, okay? Grooming, down to 25. Transphobia, down to 0. Homophobia, down to 0. Actually, no, maybe transphobia and homophobia are at 25. I think they're at 25. I think about 25. But sexism, down at 0. So you see where things are getting better, Things are getting better. A little bit better. We're better now, okay? It's because of my hard work in this community. We've done a lot as a community as well. We've come together. We've realized that these people are bad and we need to purge them out. Okay, we need to cleanse the community, all right? Put some holy water all over the place, all right? That's what we did. And that's where we're at now. Currently, 2023, we are at an all-time low for the stats, which is great, which is fantastic, right? Now, we need to talk about Real, all right? So I haven't brought this up, but I have leaked some documents to further continue the purge and to cleanse the community. So our lovely developer, Real, who works on the website for Freedom Sunrise, was at one point in 2017 both racist and he was grooming some younglings, okay? He was the worst of the worst. The same goes for Markagacious, but, he's left the community, at least, right? He's left the community. He might still be around, though. So, he lurks in the dark trenches, that Renegade has allowed him to lurk in because, that place over there, they allow the roughest of the rough, But I don't know if Real is still racist or if he still grooms younglings. There's no way to know that, right? There's no way to know that information. But, it'd be nice if he came out and said something and, maybe he leaves the community. That would be something. But you know what? He hasn't fessed up. He hasn't done any of that. So, he's keeping it behind closed doors for a reason, probably, because, he could still be those things, but there's no way to tell. Unfortunately, we are in this situation where we don't know what's going on with Real. However, the information's out there, the documents have been leaked. They are there. You guys will see them. They are there. The proof is in the pudding. Okay, the proof is in the pudding. All right. So, moving on to my next point. We got this pie chart, okay? So, we gotta think about, the community after all this. Where are they at? Where's the community been? Where are they going, right? So, unfortunately, due to potentially, mostly, drama, right? There's been a lot of drama in the community over these past, 6 years, which is crazy. Think about that, 6 years. It's a long time. We've been doing this for a long time. There's been drama for 6 years. The revivals not coming out has also been an issue. Like, obviously, with open source freedoms and no one in their Discord deciding to help someone, right? they're just lost little puppies. And then you got, you know, Free Realm Sunrise not even having a release date, not even being properly worked on by a good team, you know. Well, probably a good team, you know. At least the volunteers are trying their best. But Mayhem, you know, he's like, it'll come out when it comes out, you know. It'll release when it releases, or it probably won't. But the point here is that's been on people's minds, you know. 30%, you know, of the community is like, I don't want to, you know, I'm not going to play this game if it's never going to come out, right? So people are forgetting about it. You know, the other 30% on that side, though, is people are going to Palia, which I recommend you do, because Palia is really fun. It's a really good game. I support it 100%. I bought my microtransactions. I bought a plush that they sold, which, by the way, over 200 sold, which is pretty cool. But a lot of people are going to Palia because it is a replacement for Free Realms. It's not the same game, obviously, right? But it's very similar, and a lot of people are flocking over to it because it's great. It's fantastic. You know, there's some people that are like, it's not exactly like Free Realms. It doesn't remind me of my childhood. Well, those people need to grow up, okay? The game isn't supposed to remind you of your childhood. It's supposed to be a new experience, right? That's the whole point of it. But Palia is great, and I think that's a lot of people are moving over to there. But then, of course, you've got other games. A lot of people are going to just other games. They're playing other games like I am. I play single-player games, you know, in my free time. But I also do play Palia, and I do play Destiny, so I've got those games for me. But that's what a lot of people are doing. They're moving on. They're moving on from Free Realms. Free Realms is lost in the void at this point. You know, not a lot of people are paying attention to it. But then, of course, you got the last 10% here, which is morale. Morale has been dead, you know? There hasn't been a lot of morale going on in the community. No one's been, you know, pumping anyone up. No one's been doing videos like, you know, no one's been doing videos for Free Realms. And, you know, granted, that's part of the reason why morale is really low in the community and why everyone's kind of departing from the community and kind of forgetting about Free Realms. But there has been 2 individuals that have been keeping up with morale. And I don't know if there's any others, but I know for a fact that me and Natalie are keeping up morale in this community. 110%, dude. See, Natalie uploads interviews pretty much, I would say monthly, but she's still interviewing people from the Free Realms staff, interviewing Free Realms players, interviewing content creators. She's doing some amazing work over on her channel. Go subscribe to it, please. Go subscribe to her channel. Do it. Do it up. And of course, me, I've been doing some Palia content over here, you know, not keeping morale up in the Free Realms community, but I do cover Free Realms when there is news, you know, but I do like to cover Palia because why not? You know, the game's fun. It's amazing. I want to cover every little bit of it so you guys have something to look forward to. But, you know, we're trying to keep morale up the best we can, you know, and speaking of morale, we do have to talk about the Reddit, because the Reddit's kind of like, it's been this dead zone for the most part. Now, the only people that are actually keeping up on the Reddit is mostly, you know, Natalie's posting her interviews on there, which is great. You know, it's fantastic. You know, let people know that, hey, Natalie's still doing content. Natalie's still doing interviews, and it's great. It's phenomenal. She interviewed, I think, someone who worked on TCG, and that was phenomenal. Like, I loved watching that interview. That's great. Those interviews interest me so much. But then, of course, you got these other 2 people, and this is why the Reddit, the r/Free Realms Reddit, is kind of lacking in morale, you know? You've got this guy right here saying, please help me with, you know, open source Free Realms, because he doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's doing. Of course, there's only one comment on there, because no one in their Discord wants to help him. You know, no one wants to help this person out, right? And that's, you know, that's to the fault of the people working on open source Free Realms. No one wants to help. And this is the issue. There is no morale there, right? This is why no one's caring about Free Realms right now, because nothing is going on with it. Nothing's happening. Nothing. There's no concrete game to play, you know? Zero. Nada. Then, of course, you've got the last post right there, which is former player looking for games like Free Realms, which, of course, people did recommend Palia, but, you know, some people were trying to bash it, which was completely wrong. Don't do that. But thing is, former player looking for games like Free Realms. Someone like these, this is what's happening in the community. Everyone wants a game like Free Realms, and they're just trying to move on. They're trying to find replacements for this game, you know, and it's hard. I mean, go to Palia. I do highly recommend Palia. Highly recommend it. You know, if Kyle Freems is recommending Palia to you, well, that means you got to try it. You got to try it. Try it for me. Okay, that's all you got to do. If you try it, you'll buy it. Buy the microtransactions. Support your devs, okay? But moving into my last point here, where the Free Roam Sunrise community is now. So everyone's been really silent. Everyone's been doing their own thing. Everyone's been quiet, you know? And then, of course, you got the Free Roam Sunrise Discord, which recently, I've mentioned it before, but I am banned from the Free Roam Sunrise Discord server for a good reason. No one likes me in the Free Roam Sunrise community. Why do you ask that? Well, you know, I may have leaked some documents here and there. I may have tried to purge guilds here and there. I'm kind of a menace to society when it comes to Free Roam Sunrise, you know, and the community itself. But I have recently learned that the Free Roam Sunrise Discord has been like a ghost town, because apparently, and this is, you know, I have a source in my own server that says, apparently, people were making jokes about, you know, Mayhem changing the date or whatever and stuff like that. Apparently Mayhem didn't like that, so he sicked his enforcers on all those people and started like timing people out or banning them or whatever happened. But like, dude, like at this point, you might as well stop developing the game. Like, just forget it, because that's really toxic and that's really bad. Like, you're gonna be toxic towards the community when the game isn't out yet. Like, dude, that's crazy. The enforcement, I've always been against the enforcement. You know, there's a couple cool people in there, but like at the same time, I don't even know if they're still in there. But the enforcement's kind of a yikes, dude. They're kind of cringe. I'll say it right now. You know, I know cringe when I see it, and that's really cringe. You know, if the enforcement's gonna do that to people, like, dude, I wouldn't be in that server. You know what? Join Freemscord. I've got a link somewhere on my YouTube channel. It's somewhere. Join the Freemscord. You know, be a part of the community. Our community's chill. You know, not much is going on in there because, you know, again, we're all doing different things. But, you know, I do recommend joining the community. However, like I've said, there are other people, you know, the people in the community are doing other things. You know, since Free Roam Sunrise is not out, you know, we're playing things like Palia. Right? We're playing Palia. We're doing some Palia things, and that's great. That's fantastic. That's what I want to see in the community, bro. That's all I want to see. Right? So, you know, playing Palia, that's what we're doing right now. And then there's also people who are, you know, like Palia, how it kind of looks. People are also playing Fortnite. You know, they're being Wolverine, being Marshmallow, being whoever the guy in gold is, being Anime Girl, and, you know, being the thing from Stranger Things. You know, this is what it's come to. You know, this is what it's come to for the Free Roam Sunrise community. We're all moving on from Free Realms. We're taking different paths. We're doing different things. That's how it's going to be for the most part. If this game never comes out, this is how it's going to be. We're just going to forget all about Free Roam Sunrise and forget it ever exists. Okay? Now, if it does come out, I will still play it. I'll still cover it, you know? But that's if it comes out, which I don't think it will. You know, even if they're taking it slow, like, you know, they have, like, Mayhem, he has life or whatever, you know, he's got his own things going on. Even if they're slowly working on this game, I don't think it'll ever come out. I really don't. And I prefer, because of, and like I've said in the past, because of all the drama that's been going on, because of how this community started, because it was, you know, it was built in the dark ages, and now it's still, you know, we kind of coming to light, but we're not. I do think that the game shouldn't be worked on anymore. I think open source Free Roam should even shut down. Just, like, stop working on it. There's no point. There really isn't. This is kind of a pointless endeavor because we've all moved on, you know? But that's where the Free Roam Sunrise community is at now. Currently in a rough spot, but hopefully things will change for the better. We'll see what happens, but thank you guys for watching. If you did, I appreciate it a ton, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!